Beneath the soil we walk on every day, something vast and ancient sleeps in silence, an underground world built by hands we barely understand. For centuries, these hidden passageways remained sealed, forgotten beneath forests, mountains, and entire civilizations that rose above them. Then, unexpectedly, fragments of this buried network began to reappear, discovered by accident, by curiosity, and sometimes by pure chance. What they found wasn't just a tunnel. It was the beginning of something far larger than anyone had imagined. Stretching across continents, these tunnels form a network estimated to span nearly 10,000 miles beneath the earth. But who built them and why remains one of the most unsettling mysteries in human history. The tunnels are impossibly narrow, forcing even modern explorers to crawl through spaces barely wide enough to breathe. And yet, these suffocating passageways stretch for miles, connecting regions separated by vast distances. Some tunnels lead to hidden chambers, sealed rooms that have not been touched for thousands of years. Inside, archaeologists have discovered artifacts that do not fully match the timeline we thought we understood. The deeper researchers go, the more questions emerge. Questions that challenge everything we believe about early civilizations. Because these tunnels were not random. They were carefully engineered with precision and intent. Ventilation shafts, hidden exits, and structural reinforcements suggest advanced planning far beyond primitive design. Yet strangely, no written records clearly explain their purpose. Only silence, buried with the tunnels themselves. And perhaps the most disturbing truth is this. These tunnels were never meant to be seen again. Long before modern cities and written history, something beneath the earth was already taking shape, crafted by unknown hands with unknown intentions. Some researchers believe these tunnels date back over 12,000 years, far older than the civilizations we credit with architecture. This places their construction in a time when humanity was thought to be primitive, hunter-gatherers struggling simply to survive. But these tunnels suggest something very different. Organization, planning, and a level of engineering that defies that narrative. One theory points toward lost civilizations, advanced societies erased from history long before recorded time began. Civilizations that may have understood the land not just above, but beneath it. Another theory is far more unsettling, that these tunnels were not built for living, but for hiding. Hiding from something above the surface. Something dangerous enough to drive entire populations underground. Evidence of sudden climate shifts and catastrophic events during prehistoric times gives this theory a chilling possibility. But if these tunnels were shelters, why are they so narrow, so restrictive, and so difficult to move through? They seem designed not for comfort, but for survival under extreme and urgent conditions. Some passages lead to dead ends, while others continue for miles, forming an interconnected labyrinth beneath entire regions. Interestingly, similar tunnel systems have been discovered across Europe, particularly in regions like Germany and Austria. Despite being separated by geography and time, these tunnels share strikingly similar construction methods, which raises a disturbing possibility that they were built by a single culture or guided by a shared knowledge long forgotten. What began as scattered discoveries soon revealed a disturbing truth. These tunnels were not isolated structures, but fragments of something far larger. Across continents, archaeologists began reporting nearly identical tunnel systems appearing in completely unrelated regions. From France to Scotland and deep into Turkey, the pattern remained consistent, narrow, ancient, and deliberately hidden. In many cases, these tunnels were discovered beneath existing ruins, suggesting they were already ancient even to those civilizations. One of the most astonishing discoveries emerged in Bavaria, where hundreds of interconnected tunnels were found beneath farmland. Local legends had long spoken of hidden paths beneath the earth, but no one realized just how extensive they truly were. In Derinkuyu, an entire underground city was uncovered, capable of housing thousands of people. But even structures like Derinkuyu may only represent fragments of a much older and deeper network. Some tunnels stretch for kilometers without interruption, maintaining consistent width and direction with uncanny precision. Even more unsettling, many tunnels appear to align with ancient trade routes and migration paths above ground, as if the people who built them were mapping the world both above and below simultaneously. In some locations, tunnels lead to chambers containing strange carvings, symbols that have yet to be fully decoded. These symbols do not match known languages, raising questions about who created them and what they meant. Some researchers believe these markings may have served as navigation guides within the underground labyrinth, but others believe they were warnings, left behind for those who would one day dare to return. If these tunnels were not built for travel or trade, then one chilling question remains. What forced entire populations to disappear beneath the earth? Evidence from prehistoric geology reveals that Earth has endured sudden, violent shifts, events capable of wiping out entire civilizations overnight. One such event may have occurred at the end of the last ice age, when massive climate changes reshaped the planet in unpredictable ways. But climate alone does not explain the urgency, nor the extreme design of these suffocating underground passages. Some researchers suggest something far more immediate, something that hunted or threatened those who built these hidden paths. Ancient myths from multiple cultures speak of beings that emerged during times of chaos, creatures associated with darkness and underground realms. While these stories are often dismissed as legend, their consistency across distant civilizations is difficult to ignore. In regions like Cappadocia, underground cities were not only shelters, but defensive systems complete with sealed stone doors. These doors could be closed from the inside, effectively sealing entire communities away from whatever lay beyond. But sealing yourself underground comes at a cost: limited air, limited space, and the constant presence of darkness, which suggests that whatever they feared above was worse than the suffocating conditions below. Some tunnels even show signs of rapid construction, as if they were built in urgency rather than over centuries. In certain locations, entire sections appear abandoned mid-construction, left incomplete, frozen in time, as if something interrupted the builders, something that forced them to flee or vanish without finishing their work. And perhaps the most terrifying possibility is this: the threat they feared never truly disappeared. Deep within these tunnels, beyond the narrow passages and suffocating corridors, lie chambers that were never meant to be reopened. Many of these rooms were hidden behind carefully concealed entrances, blocked with stone, earth, and time itself. When archaeologists finally breached these chambers, what they found often raised more questions than answers. Some rooms were completely empty, no artifacts, no markings, just silent, untouched space sealed for thousands of years. Others, however, contained objects that defied expectation: tools, carvings, and materials unlike those found above ground. In certain tunnels beneath Bavaria, small niches carved into the walls appear to have held objects long since removed. These niches are spaced with deliberate precision, suggesting organized placement, perhaps storage or something more ritualistic. In other locations, chambers contain soot marks on ceilings, evidence of fire used in enclosed spaces with limited oxygen, which raises a disturbing question: how long were people living down here, cut off from the surface world? Even more unsettling are the chambers that show signs of sudden abandonment, objects left behind, as if time simply stopped. In rare cases, skeletal remains have been discovered, positioned in ways that suggest they never made it back to the surface. Some remains are found near blocked exits, implying that escape routes were sealed, either intentionally or by force. In tunnels beneath Austria, carvings have been found that do not match any known cultural or linguistic system. These symbols appear repeatedly in sealed chambers, as if marking spaces of particular importance or warning. And in some of the deepest tunnels, explorers report something even more unsettling: not what they found, but what they felt. After centuries of silence, the tunnels are no longer just relics of the past. They are questions rising into the present. Across the world, new discoveries continue to emerge, each one adding another fragment to a puzzle that refuses to be solved. In places like Cappadocia, entire underground systems are now open to exploration, yet much of them remain inaccessible. Because for every tunnel that is mapped, dozens more remain sealed, collapsed, or simply undiscovered. Modern technology, ground scanning, radar, and imaging, has revealed hidden voids beneath our feet that no one has yet entered. Entire sections of this underground world may still exist, untouched, unseen, and waiting in complete darkness. But perhaps the most unsettling truth is not what we have found, but how little we actually understand. Whoever built these tunnels possessed knowledge, purpose, and urgency that history has failed to preserve. And whatever drove them underground was powerful enough to reshape how they lived and perhaps how they disappeared. Today, we walk above these tunnels unaware, living our lives over a hidden world that still exists beneath us. A world built in secrecy, preserved in darkness and forgotten by time. And yet, as new tunnels are uncovered, one thing becomes increasingly clear. This story is far from over, because every discovery leads to another question, and every answer reveals something even more unsettling. What if these tunnels were never abandoned, only waiting? Because beneath the ground we stand on right now, something ancient may still be there, watching, waiting, and remembering.